Good flipping afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It is another episode of Afternoon Color Commentary with yours truly, Color. Man, it's good to see that intro. I haven't used that intro in a long time. It's been nothing but cups of coffee and bad quarterback play. But I had to come to you guys with an afternoon version of Color Commentary because we got all kinds of news. As you can see by the title, other than your flippant smattering of comments, Lamar Jackson has finally put out an official statement, which obviously brings no news to us at the Fins tailgate, considering that our great proprietor, El Capitan, told you all this information back early in March. We'll get to that. This is not the news headline, ladies and gentlemen, should be, and by the way, shout out to everybody in chat. We got 22 of you. Get the likes going, get the sharing going, get more people in here to talk. I got a lot to say about this whole Lamar Jackson issue. Ain't none of it got to do with Tua. That's right. I said ain't none of it got to do with Tua. But you all know that we told you all this already happened. Cap's got his sources. His sources have now been confirmed because Lamar Jackson has in fact requested a trade. So the news headline should actually read, Lamar Jackson publicly announces that he requested a trade. That's the news. The news was already broken by the Fins tailgate and El Capitan almost a month ago. But bigger heads got to have their cheese, whatever it is. You know how it is. We rely on you guys to watch us all the time. And we rely on you guys to spread the word that we, we're some logical thinkers over here. And some of us do got some sources. So it has been confirmed. And we'll get into that in a minute. TD over at TD Fins Talk, the great TD, he likes to report that the Dolphins are doing their diligence. Of course, they're in talks with Baltimore to see what has to happen. His words. I'm just reporting them. He has sources too. But putting all that aside, the man has made it clear that he wants out of Baltimore. I think it's pretty much a 99% done deal that Lamar Jackson is not going to play for Baltimore next year. However, what this does indicate, well, before I get too deep, I want to do my diligence here. Do my diligence. You are watching Afternoon Color Commentary, and I appreciate every one of you that are here, every one of you in chat. Please like, share, subscribe, hit your notification bell so you know when we're going. I haven't done an afternoon show in a while, so the notification bell will help you know when I decide I got enough energy to do it. So make sure you're catching all of our great content as well. Some of it here, some of it on hold. We always got the rabid Dolphin Lewis popping in and out, foaming at the mouth, ready to tell you what the real story is, ready to spread the truth. DTA, King DTA with Dolphins Debrief coming at you with the War Room. Oop, did I say the W word? I'm sorry. Sorry, YouTube. And of course, Late Night Exhale with Ali is on hold right at the moment till preseason because it is geared to be a hype show for games and stuff like that and action. So Ali's got that on hold. But however, Ali's also got Broken Takes coming out, some pre-recorded shows that are about an hour to 2 hours long. They're doing it as a premiere, allows us to engage with you guys in chat for a couple hours. It's pretty cool. I've enjoyed them. I hope you guys have too. We've had pretty good turnout on them. And also, make sure you're watching out for Ali and myself coming at you with a new morning show, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock every morning, followed up by yours truly with a cup of color. And I'll be drinking some coffee. Also, of course, every other night of the week, you can catch El Capitan with the Fins Tailgate, making it known who runs the show around here, who's got the gavel. Y'all know him, y'all love him, the great El Capitan. And of course, there's a couple different ways to support the channel. You can do that with Cash App, $ the Fins Tailgate, or Venmo the Fins Tailgate. And of course, super chat, super stickers, all that kind of stuff through YouTube, memberships. We got 3 different levels. That's to support the channel and everybody that supports me doing this show. And if you want to tip me directly, you can do it with $ ColorCom, CULLERCOMM, or buy me a cup of coffee at buymeacoffee.com/ColorCom. Other than that, the rest of it's to support the channel. There's your ways right there. you can also do the easiest thing, the free thing, the thing that only matters, and that's hit the like button. Smash it, pound it, share it out, get more people in chat to talk to in the middle of the day on a Monday in late March. And of course, make sure you're hitting the links in the description below for our partner Fanatics. Get all your officially licensed gear there. NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, MLS, which is soccer. And of course, I believe they got college gear too. But hit the link in the description below so they know we sent you. Speaking of college, shout out to the boys in B-ball playing for the Canes, have made it to the Final Four, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking a sip out of my Canes cup for them, since Tua broke my Dolphins mug. And of course, make sure you're checking out Dubby. I would say Dubby because it's got two B's, but everybody's saying Doobie, so I'll say Doobie. Energy products, energy drinks, great stuff. Check them out. Also, down below, I believe. And of course, Backroom Collections for all custom memorabilia, artwork, sports gear, all the good stuff. Great guys over there. Hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10% off there. And make sure you're checking out all our great gear, of course. Stuff like this. I'm eyeing that coffee mug. And of course, the flag, which is a great flag. I've checked it out. Ali brought one to the tailgate. It's pretty good. It's a nice flag. It's like a 4x6, really good quality material. Something you could fly proudly. And of course, for all the CB83s of the world, a good, nice pair of flip-flops. And of course, hats and stuff like that. You know the drill. All in the description below. Check it out. So I'm trying to pull up this dang tweet. Everybody's seen it. Everybody knows it. That ain't the one. There's no cryptic about it. Lamar Jackson admitting openly, publicly that he requested a trade from the Ravens. Doesn't want to play for them anymore. According to Jackson, they were not going to meet his offer or what he had requested. And as such has requested a trade. Now we know that what we've heard from our current situation. And I just, I want to point out that, because I wanted this to have nothing to do with Tua, so it doesn't, because it has nothing to do with Tua. What we've got to realize is our organization has repeatedly put us in this situation over the last 30 years where a guy like this becomes available and, we all get in line to talk about him and everything like that. And some team comes in and gets the guy and that a lot of people didn't see coming, and we realized we were never in it. Well, I'm getting to the point where it's starting to feel like, we've got to see real action on this, because To me, the time is now. I mean, the time is now, Miami. You've let this go 1,000 times over. We've got the team. The man's available. You can make it happen. And I'm not convinced, despite what everybody says. I haven't even looked at the chat yet, but I'm sure everybody's saying that we can't afford it. Well, I don't buy that. I also don't buy that he's a running quarterback. You're right. For those saying T2 is our quarterback, you're right. This isn't about Tua. This is about getting Lamar Jackson. I am going to sit here until it's done, until this man puts on a jersey for another team. I am going to advocate for the Dolphins going after this man and letting it in and just getting it done. I'm not going to put, if you tell me that we're doing our diligence, that's like saying, okay, whatever. How am I, what does that even mean to me? I'm not there in the back seat of Greer's car to see where he drives every day, to see who he's talking to on the phone and whether he's doing his diligence or not. It's too easy for them to say, oh, we're doing our diligence. I mean, the man wants to play here. It's been widely reported. We have the team. And you know what? I think it's pretty. I think it speaks volumes for somebody to say that, hey, our coach and our GM believe in the quarterback we have. Okay. And as if to say that they don't want to stop midstream and start building something different for Lamar. Well, I'm sorry. Our coach came into this building saying that his purpose as a coach was to make the best version of every player, was to make each player the best version of themselves. Are we to presume that Mike McDaniel would not bring out the best in Lamar Jackson? Have we not seen the best of Lamar Jackson? I mean, a lot of people could argue, and have, myself included, Lamar Jackson has never seen a team the likes of ours. That doesn't mean we don't have holes. Yeah, of course we got holes. Of course we've got guys that could be better. Of course we got players that need to be upgraded or whatever else. But, it never seems to be a problem. Any other player. So why are we worried? You let a guy like Wilkins go or a guy like Waddle go or something, and you can't ever replace them again? Well, it's taken us 30 years. If I can remember off the top of my head, I can think of about 4 opportunities we've had to get a premium quarterback. And each time we've just said, that's not us. However, I could probably count how many times have we gotten a guy that's almost as good or equally as good as Christian Wilkins or a Jalen Waddle? Now you could say, "Oh, Culler, look at all the yards. He broke records. Nobody's ever gotten that kind of yardage." That doesn't mean that we haven't brought in guys that are equally as talented. What you can't just find is somebody like Lamar Jackson to take snaps from your center. That's what you can't find. And we have an opportunity again. Now, I was going to pull up the tweet from Lamar. Suffice it to say, I don't feel like going back in the art. You've all seen it. He basically said in March 2nd, he requested a trade, and he thanked Baltimore and the city for their support, thanked them, said goodbye, basically. What I do want to get into real quick is a little tidbit that just got put out 45 minutes ago. A new addition to this story for me and Rappaport. Reporting, tweeted it 45 minutes ago from NFL Now. While the Lamar Jackson trade request has been in, sources say he was actively negotiating with the Ravens as recently as last week. And that may be the case, but it may have taken up till last week to, with, of course, all due respect to Mr. Rappaport. I'm not trying to, he's just reporting what they're saying. But it could have very well been up until last week that he decided the Ravens were just not going to give him the deal he wanted. Could Lamar, with talking up, not that he's done it recently, but he has talked up Miami. He could end up making a power play on Miami to boost himself to another team. Irsay's been talking to Lamar Jackson, from what I understand, or at least talking about wanting to talk to him. And we know Irsay's is not shy to pull the trigger on anybody of Lamar's caliber. He's dying to get somebody back in the building to replace the fanfare that Andrew Luck brought. So, look out for the Colts to be a candidate, a serious contender in this Lamar Jackson sweepstakes. Now, all of what I just said is true, whether I believe we're actually going to go after Lamar Jackson or not. In which case, I'm going to be fair. Just like I say to everybody, there's no evidence has shown me no evidence that he's going to win an important game. I could easily say that the Dolphins, Chris Greer, and everybody involved have shown me no evidence whatsoever that they're actually willing to make a deal this type of magnitude. None. Why would I predict we're gonna? Of course there's a chance, Kevin Lee. That's why I'm talking about it, and I'm going to continue to talk about it, because while the offseason exists, I have a right to advocate for our team getting better as hard and as strong as I can. I don't care what people think about my opinion on Tua. Catch me in the regular season when he's taking snaps under our quarterback. Well, Aqua, okay, to be fair, I was just reading somebody else's goofy article. That's all. I just thought it was kind of goofy, and I was trying to just have some fun with it. But yeah, there's a Joe Fragoza, as Aqua Vision points out, wrote an article with a mock draft that suggested, or should say predicted, that we would trade Tua to the Ravens for their first round draft pick. Lamar Jackson would go to, who was it? The Lions, was it? Or somebody like that? and the Dolphins would proceed to draft Hendon Hooker 22nd overall in the next draft. And I just thought it was funny, so I read the article and brought it to everybody's attention last night on the Fins tailgate. It was, broken take, of course, but people will say things like that, and then things like that happen, and we're all as fans like, man, business is business. We didn't see that coming, and we all remember that we have no idea what is actually going on when it comes to the business aspect of all these franchises. To be really honest with you, Greer could be ready to trade our entire team for all we know. I mean, I'm just saying, there's still other options on the table. I'm just saying you're missing the mark with a real transcendent player. And I know people are going to put out injuries, but I want to hold off on basically my talking points on Lamar Jackson for the time being, because that's, we got time. I wanted to get back to somewhat of some housekeeping. I wanted to say hi to a few people in chat. 48 of you now. Get them likes up. I can't see who's liking right at the moment, but 2 people on Facebook liking. Appreciate you watching on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, whatever other favorite platform. Head over to YouTube, give us a subscribe if you could, and then head back to your favorite platform. But we got Cat for Life in the building. I'm going to start with some members because there's a lot of you and I'm behind, so I can't catch you all. Cat for Life, California, how you doing, man? Aqua, I already said hi to you. I know you're not a member, but you are to me, man. Let's see, 72 undefeated. Q, how you doing? I'll answer some of your questions, Q. And I see you all in there asking me questions. I just wanted to get some talk out, and then I'll chop it up with you all, answer a few of these questions. I see you too, Lewis. Lewis, Lance is having an issue with one of the mods, and I didn't catch what was going on. So do me a favor and just, if you could, kind of moderate that. I don't really know what's going on. Kevin Lee, how you doing? Brian's Brains, how you doing? No, I don't know what McDaniel thinks of Lamar. You're right. I was thinking that, it's funny Brian's Brains points this out. Now, I want to be fair and bring up the comment, because I don't disagree with this comment. It pains me to hear it. I'm going to be a man and be honest with you. I don't like to hear stuff like that, because there's times in my mind where I do think that, where I'm like, could it be that these guys just don't like Lamar? Like even his skill set. I'm not even saying they're saying he's bad. They just don't like him, Yeah, there's always that possibility. I'm glad you bring that up, because I personally like to bring up the human aspect of all this stuff. People forget this ain't Madden. You can't just go, let's trade for Lamar. You know what I mean? I get exactly what you're saying. So when it comes across my mind, because I want Lamar, and I'll be honest with you, I want Lamar here. I mean, I've made that clear. And it's a passion, at a passionate level. So when I think about, thoughts like this, where could it be they just don't like him? It hurts me to hear. It hurts me to think about it myself. I just put it out of my head. I'm a fan of Lamar. Doesn't mean I'm not. Okay. Maybe I'm not a fan of Tua, but that doesn't make me. Being a fan of Lamar is not what makes me not a fan of Tua, is what I should say. A person could be both. We have a few of them in our community that like Tua and Lamar. Some of them like Lamar better and can still say they like Tua. It's just a mixture of people. You know what I mean? And the fact of it is, I'm going to advocate hard for Lamar until he's just simply not available anymore. It is what it is. Until game 1. Now that I've given you that deference, you know what I mean, and been fair, could you not also see how maybe they do and they're just not saying something? because obviously they want to be professionals. That's one of the things that some have argued our last coach lacked, was certain amount of professionality. Live and learn. I'm not saying it makes him a bad man. I'm just saying live and learn. Well, if that's the case, then obviously McDaniel is going to want to work towards, and Greer also, being as professional as they can to the people that are existing in the building, because y'all do make a fair point. It's not even a matter of a fair point. It's a reality. Tua is our quarterback. I've never tried to deny that. I don't presume to. People do. I get it. I get why I'm the face of all those people that do, but I'm not the one that earned that face. I've spoken what I've spoken since the beginning. It's other people that misrepresent what I speak. And that's fine. I mean, it happens. I mean, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that, it could be fair to say that maybe they do love him, and they've just got to figure out a way to get him in the building in a professional manner. Which brings me to what I really wanted to talk about. Thank you, Brian's Brains. I appreciate you. Because I'm sure a lot of the things I say make you feel the way I described earlier about how I feel when I hear stuff like that. So I appreciate you coming around and listening to a differing viewpoint. 72 undefeated. I think I already had you, Steve, from USMC. 3 of 6 or March 6th. I don't know. Maybe as of March 6th. Either case, thank you for your service. I could see the light. I know. That's why you're a member of TFTG. Do it like I could see the light. He saw the light. They saw the light. And they became a member. How you doing? I don't know, Lance. You got to tell us who timed you out. I don't see you timed out, man. If we can see you, you ain't timed out. Damian Deese, how you doing? Let's see. Liz, always appreciate you, Liz. Bobby Supreme, Kahari P. Some of you may have already exited chat, but might still be listening, so I thank you. I thank every one of you for being members. Andres Negron, how you doing? Andres Negron is an honorary member. Day one. Lifelong Finn's Tailgate. Appreciate you, buddy. Amicus, how you doing? Marino's Goat. Adam, how you doing, Adam? So, Twitter. You gotta love Twitter, guys and gals. You gotta love Twitter. I mean, I don't know if... Oh, did Lewis time Lance out? That's odd. Maybe he was just joking with you, Lance. I don't think Lewis has an issue with you. Unless you said something against the rules. Nah, salute to you, Steve. Appreciate you, man. Night Wolf, how's it going, Night Wolf? Go Canes, yeah. Finally done something, man. Like, at our school, maybe we can carry that over into some football this year. I don't know if it's the year, but I think everybody was expecting it to be the year last year, when in reality it really wasn't. See what happened? I was talking to this to Ali, I believe, about this the other day on the phone, and I think really what happened last year was, we started out in the off season thinking, oh, we got Cristobal in, brand new coach. He's got to make some moves. He's got to recruit some. You got to do some addition by subtraction, bring some coaches in. But everybody said, pump the brakes. This ain't the year because of all of that. Now, what happened was, I think the second game of the season, we put like 77 points on somebody, on some inferior team. Now, yeah, it was it was a really inferior team, but still a 70 burger. I mean, we're like, whoa, are we back earlier? And I think a lot of people fell into the trap of thinking that we had arrived a year early. And so when the wheels fell off, not a couple weeks later, everybody was really disappointed. And I think that, I think we just have to remember back to what the expectation was at the start of last season and realize that, we shouldn't have done that to ourselves. We were just hurting ourselves as fans. How you doing, Canes Dolphins 89? Canes Dolphins, you witnessed it with me. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? And that's okay. That leaves a lot of optimism. There were those that said, "Hey, watch out for the Canes in watch out for UM in January, February's recruiting cycle." That's when we've really come through the past couple years. That's also where Cristobal, really, cuts his teeth. And again, this year it seems to be the case again. So I'm highly optimistic that we're getting things rolling on the right track there. I think we brought back Jason Taylor. Might have even elevated his role on in coaching. I'm really am optimistic. So we'll get that going on. Maybe this ain't the year yet. Pump the brakes still. But given what we proved we could do, in the spot last season to an inferior opponent, if we can spread that 77 points out a little bit across our other opponents, I think we're going to be just fine. And I'm hoping for big things and possibly, but I don't want to say we're there anymore until we're standing there holding the national championship. That's when I'll get back into predicting for the year. Like, so for instance, if we come out of nowhere and win the chip this year, then next year I would predict it. But I ain't going to do it. It's been too long. It's been way too long. Same with Miami. You know what? I want everybody to remember something else too. Just because if we were to bring Lamar Jackson in the building, just because that happens doesn't mean we're going to the Super Bowl this year. Let's be real. Doesn't guarantee you a damn thing. And I want to give that respect to what the staunch Tua supporters say when they say, it's a team game. Okay, yeah, we know. Pump the brakes, everybody. Lamar Jackson don't guarantee nothing. If somebody says that, and I'm sure I have too, use the word guarantee, they're using that word loosely as if this, subjectively saying, oh, it's apparent that we would have one of the best chances in the league to win the Super Bowl. That's fair to say, but I get it. Lamar Jackson don't guarantee nothing, which is why you may not want to actually lose Tua out of the room. But I just don't know if the bravado can be overcome to keep them both. I just don't know, because let's be honest, Jalen Waddle and Christian Wilkins can get you Lamar Jackson. You don't need to trade Tua. There ain't nothing wrong with that. One of the things that people point out, you can say spot thrower, you can say been exposed, catching up, whatever you want to say about Tua. He knows how to run what he knows. In other words, the stuff he does know, he knows really well. And so do you think teams are going to be ready for it and on that game if he had to come in for a couple games? No, because they'd be like, oh, yeah, let's back up, bring back out the Tua book. That buys you a couple games before teams catch back up again. I mean, Mike McDaniel has proven he can put together a game plan to win with Tua. What if Lamar Jackson is injured against and can't play against the team like, I don't know, whoever we beat last year? I mean, early in the season when there's nothing on the line, Tua has proven he can beat the Patriots, the Bills, and the Ravens. And to be honest with you, I don't think we had the worst chance, and he wasn't performing well in the first half, but I don't think we had the worst chance in the world to even beating Cincinnati if he doesn't get hurt. No different than we had a chance to beat them with Teddy in the game. I mean, I had every bit of faith that we'd get stuff corrected. We weren't so far behind like we were against Baltimore that given what we just witnessed with Baltimore, there was no reason to think we weren't still in the ball game against Cincinnati when Tua got hurt. That wasn't a throwaway game before Tua got hurt. Regardless of whether he wasn't playing well. So my point is, we can win with Tua. Can we sustain wins with Tua? Can we win the game where there's something to be earned from it? An important game, dare I say? A big game? Whatever you want to call it, prime time? Well, there's no evidence of that. There's actually evidence to the contrary. Can Lamar Jackson win a big game? Well, he's played in 4 playoff games. Granted, his record is 1-3. That's not the greatest in the world. But to get to 4 playoff games, you had to win quite a few important games. Games that would qualify to be similar to a game like San Francisco or Los Angeles from this year, or Green Bay. No, I mean, Aaron Rodgers on a full stacked team, no, but if we expected Tua to beat Rodgers last year, why wouldn't we expect Lamar to beat him? I don't think a lot of people were calling Green Bay as a loss earlier in the year. Some were saying watch out, but nobody was calling for a loss. So I am completely on board if somebody were to be able to realize themselves. Because look, if everybody's right about Lamar being injury prone, then what have we lost? We got a guy that half the fan base believes can work us in. I mean, it's no different than, we got this star guy. He goes down for a couple games. Guy like Tua comes in, gets a couple wins, might even secure us a game that guarantees a playoff spot. And then we're back on track. I mean, what's wrong with supporting each other? I mean, I'm just saying. You bring Lamar in and you have a competition at QB2. Y'all wanted a competition at QB2, remember? Now we can't have that competition between Tua, Mike White, and Skylar Thompson. I kind of like what McDaniel's setting up here. We just need Lamar. Lamar needs us. You don't think he's chomping at the bit? Let me ask you a question. What team, when Lamar Jackson looks around and says, if I could put my finger on a team ready-made for me, that I want to go to because I expect a real possibility of winning a championship. Which team do you think that would be? Give me 5 teams, if you could, in chat. Give me 5 teams that you think Lamar would be like, if I was there, instant championship. Not only instant championship, but I'd have fun doing it. And I'd look like a star doing it. 49ers, good one. You guys are, I'm in agreement on 49. I'll go with 49ers. So that's one. We'll count that. Show host agrees with the 49ers. They're in. Okay. 72 put in 5 Miamis. So I don't know if that counts or not, but so Miami. Okay, we'll put in Miami. That's 2. 49ers and Dolphins. Eagles. Really? You think they'd go out on Jalen Hurts for a Lamar Jackson? You think they look at Hurts as like a Goff type where they're like just one step above and we win that game? That's not unfair. I'm not trying to crap on your take, Adam. That's a fair take. We'll see if everybody agrees. If I see a couple more Eagles in there, we'll put it in the list. So we got 49ers, Dolphins. We got a vote for the XFL. Got two votes for the XFL. Lewis says the Bucks. I don't know if the team around him, Lewis, though, if he would want to play there. Oh, Lewis, you're because of being closer to home. Sure. Okay. Yeah. But do you think he thinks they have a chance at winning a championship? Like, is he the last piece of that puzzle? Well, given that he can manipulate the heat, yeah, I guess he could think that. Colts, Broncos, Vikings, maybe the Vikings, but they need to hem up their defense a little bit more. Broncos just gave the bag to Russell Wilson. Not even a possibility. Seahawks just signed Geno, but not like to billions of dollars, I guess, but they could probably still get out of that. Cardinals. See, Ali thinks they don't believe in that they're off of Murray. But see, that would have to be a smooth move. Although, I mean, do the Ravens want to pay Murray that kind of money? They didn't want to pay. You might as well just pay Lamar. Detroit. They seem to be pretty comfortable with Goff. Andre says the Cowboys. Now, the Cowboys are the one that always scares me when these sweepstakes are going on, to be honest with you. Because Jerry Jones is the type of guy that could have all of a sudden bug out and have this great image in his head of a guy like Lamar Jackson with a star on his helmet. Let's face it, Lamar Jackson is almost as good a runner as Barry Sanders. So, and by default, Emmitt Smith. So I could see that. Jerry Jones is the type. And I don't care what anybody says about Dak Prescott. I know Jerry Jones would give up Dak for the dollar signs in a heartbeat. Because let's face it, Lamar Jackson would bring a lot of dollar signs to the NFL if he was a Cowboy. Well, let's just be real here. Okay. Besides the fact he'd be running on turf, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, but today's turf they do pretty well on. Now, remember the question. Falcons I will add to the list because I believe the Falcons are the type of team that Lamar would actually want to play for, that does have enough weapons that he could see himself as the final piece of the puzzle. So I'll add the Falcons to the list. So we got the 49ers, the Dolphins, the Falcons. Some have said, who else did we all agree on? I mean, you see what I'm saying, though, people? There is a finite number of teams that when you remember what the question was, who would Lamar want to play for? I know it's about the money, and any one of them could have them with the bag. But let's be real. Do you think if some crappy team that has no chance wants to give Lamar, oh, I guess if the Ravens would have. Touche. Self. Kevin Lee, thank you for the. Oh, first of all, before you, Kevin, I'm sorry. I don't mean to circumvent you, but I forgot all about Shake back here with the $3 donation like 4 months ago that I forgot to highlight. I'm sorry, Shake, but thank you so much for the $3 donation. For starting on time, here's a $3 bill. Oh, because I gave you a two. Oh, gotcha. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. And then, of course, to Kevin Lee, thank you for the $10 donation. No team has ever had speed at quarterback and speed on both sides at wide receiver like we would have with Lamar. Culler. No team can cover that. It's one or the other, and it opens the running game. I mean, yeah. Again, Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson, you're guaranteed a touchdown. Of course, I use guaranteed subjectively. You're guaranteed a touchdown inside the 10-yard line. Lamar Jackson, like, forget one. So one or the other. We'll go with Lamar. You got Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill. If we don't have to give up Waddle to get Jackson, you got Waddle, Craycraft, Braxton Berrios, a tight end, the kitchen sink, last night's leftovers. I mean, spread all that out, and what do the defense do? Suck it all up into a little ball. What does the defense do? Lamar or Tyreek Hill can take the corner. Absolutely no problem. I mean, I don't know what we're thinking here. Man, I witnessed it myself in camp last year. Tyreek Hill can easily take the pylon on any defense. We just have to give him the ball and catch the defense in the right formation. And sometimes not even that. Even with the entire defense knowing Tyreek had the ball, he beat everybody to the pylon. What are we doing here? And you're telling me we need Jalen Waddle with Lamar? I mean, let's be real, people. If we had Lamar Jackson as our quarterback, barring injury, 3 years from now, do you think we even remember who Jalen Waddle is? If that's what it took to get him? And no, I'm not advocating for Jalen Waddle. What I'm saying is it's really hard for me to entertain the talk, and this is to answer Q's question about what I'd give up for Lamar. It's really hard to entertain the trade talk as far as what would the actual values be. Because it's hard not to say I would give up some important pieces to get him. And nobody wants to hear that. Everybody thinks I'm crapping on Jalen Waddle. I would trade Jalen Waddle for Lamar Jackson to use Lamar Jackson as a wide receiver. So I don't, it doesn't even compute to me that we can't get this man. And if you're asking me to go in a time machine, with a player, freeze time on 3 different plays, and replace Jalen Waddle with another player in those moments in time, and then start it back up, that player that would join me in the time machine is Xavier Howard. So I ain't joking. I would trade Jalen Waddle for Lamar Jackson, athlete for athlete. Athlete for athlete. It's not even a question. I get ridiculed. People like me, like Pete, like others that have said that. It's not even a question. Kevin Lee, I appreciate it. One of the other guests just said the same thing, and it was outside of Super Chat. So I want to recognize the both of you, but I thank you for the $5 donation. I was going to actually bring up the comment earlier because it really does speak volumes as to the fact that I'm not the only one that thinks that way. Kevin Lee for $5 saying it's a pride thing with Mike and Greer. That's the only reason Tua is still here, in my opinion, because Mike said he could make it work. Right. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I know I can make that work, but it ain't just about me and proving to everybody what I can do. How about it's about winning a championship and upping your – see, what Mike should be saying and should have said, instead of I can make it work with Tua, he should have just said I can make it work. And making it work includes – right, in my opinion, right now, making it work for this year or the next is replacing Tua with Lamar Jackson. That to me is ups your chances of making it work. So I agree, Kevin Lee. I mean, I just wish, people would realize it's not just about themselves. While out there, putting out this error that everybody else thinks it's about themselves. You know what I mean? Like, hey, whatever. If y'all want to be not you, Kevin, but if y'all want to be a mediocre to losing franchise for the rest of the time, I'm used to it. When I lived in Missouri for 11 years, every Sunday, this is what I looked like at Buffalo Wild Wings. I had to talk about my team with my tongue in my cheek. Like, yeah, we all know I'm joking here, but the only thing I had on them is that they didn't even have an NFL team anymore. So what are they going to do? Well, I shouldn't say Missouri. They have the Chiefs, but St. Louis in particular. Y'all don't know what it's like, man. Now, one shred of news I get from my team back home is Bullygate or Blowgate. And so I'm going to ask the same question that I've been asking for the last 25, 30 years. Does anybody in Miami in that building give two shits about football? Fair question. If you care about football, Chris Greer, if you care about winning for this city, for this organization, for this town, and for these fans, you will pursue Lamar Jackson and you will get him in this building. No matter what it takes. Just for the sake of it. Even if we're wrong, let us be wrong. We're the ones that pay. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. It is a dream of mine to have Lamar Jackson wearing a Miami Dolphins uniform. I'm going to visualize it happening. If that pains people, I'm sorry. You want me to keep it to myself? Well, you know how much it costs. MJW125, thank you for the comment. Who started down this road and probably inspired Kevin Lee. Culler, do you think Greer wants to please the Tua radicals instead of putting a winning team out there, or Tua is his pick and he feels he has to ride the ship with Tua? I think that the latter is true, but the former is what helps him facilitate, is what helps him get the out. So the latter is what's true, what causing it. The former is what his out is what he's using as his out to make it happen. So both are true. And I ain't afraid to say it. I don't know why. Beyond dollar signs, I can't imagine he'd prefer one fan over another. I mean, I thought he would just prefer winning. Now, I didn't even get to the fun part, but we're at the 1 hour mark. So I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to remind everybody you are watching Afternoon Color Commentary. For the first time in a while, have I flown under this moniker. It's my original moniker, late night and afternoon color commentary. Where'd it go? Just like that. Sailing in the bay. Yes, that is Biscayne Bay. That is not my sailboat. I cannot tell you where I acquired that sailboat, but it is not mine. And it is not my plane. And I did not put that on their sign. But that is, in fact, the Miami skyline, the gorgeous Miami skyline, the 305, Biscayne Bay. Not far from the bridge where they actually filmed Bad Boys 2 chase scene on. And today, by the way, March 27th, if you were to look out the window, it would look much like that day right there. Such a gorgeous city. Anyway, I'm going to try to, if I can't, the reason I'm doing afternoon color commentary today is because there's a lot to talk that I wanted to talk about. And I missed my coffee show this morning because I slept in. So I'll be honest with you. It was afternoon color commentary or nothing today. But that being said, you can also catch other great content on TFTG, of course. The Rabid Dolphin. I didn't even drop the link for everybody, for our team members. They don't even, they have to come in the back way if they want to come in. So I just wanted to get out what I had to say before everybody came up. But they all know how to get here. Except maybe Lewis, because I think we took Lewis's privs away for somebody else for a minute. But maybe I should have dropped the link. Sorry, Lewis. That's why we haven't had any foam flying around here, because the Rabid Dolphin don't have no way to get in. But you normally can catch him coming in, giving us the true reality of the situation. The Rabid Dolphin. Lewis, y'all know him. Y'all love him. Of course, DTA with the War Room and the Dolphins debrief. Bringing it to you. Usually about this time in the afternoon, but sometimes evening. He's been trying to get it going pretty much around this time, I believe. And of course, Late Night Exhale with Ali is on hold until the preseason because it's a hype show for the games. So it really don't make sense to do it. But Ali's been doing broken takes. You guys have been receiving them really well with broken takes. And of course, we'll be starting up early morning shows, 6 a.m. to 8, followed by coffee and a cup of color at 8. Most mornings, if not, I will be bringing you this show if I can. Many ways to support the channel. $, the Fins Tailgate with a Cash App and the Fins Tailgate with Venmo. Of course, like others have, super chats, super stickers, memberships. We got a bunch of them. They're all in chat. They're all highlighted. You can say hi to them. You can thank them because they help bring it all to you every day. But of course, liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell is the easiest and freest way to help support the channel. And of course, if you want to throw your gracious host a bone, that would be $ColorCom. Short for Culler Commentary, 2 L's, 2 M's. And I think that covers everything but our affiliates. Fanatics. Use the link in the description below for Fanatics for all your officially licensed gear. It's a new season. There's new gear, and you need to use the link in the description below to get it. That way they know the Fins Tailgate sent you. And they've got all your needs for NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, MLS, whatever other acronym you can think of. Shout out to the Canes. I believe the ladies made it through too. Am I mistaken? If I'm not, correct me, but shout out to both of them for however deep they got in the NCAA basketball tournament. Love you guys holding down the fort. You guys and gals holding down the fort since nobody else in Miami seems to want to win. Our college basketball players coming through with a bit of pride for their school and their town. Appreciate you. And of course, who else am I missing? Doobie. Energy products, energy drinks, all that good stuff. Great product. Hit them up. Hit them loud. Hit them hard. Buy all they shiz. And of course, TFTG gear. Oh, special. You know what? I apologize, DTA. I do not have that particular banner on my brand for some reason for ZSM Sports. But make sure y'all are checking out ZSM Sports. I can probably switch real quick to this one, even though the colors are crappy. I'm just kidding, Cat. ZSM Sports, proud sponsor of the TFTG network, South Florida's #1 sports memorabilia and private signing agency. Make sure you're emailing ZSM Sports for all your private signing needs. He's got a couple athletes he works closely with, from what I understand, that are always having things going on, events and private events that are already scheduled. Call him, email him, see what he's got. ZSMSports25@gmail.com. That's ZSMSports25@gmail.com. Phone number is in the Fort Lauderdale area, Broward County, 954-980-5900. 5801. That is 954-980-5801. Hit them up on Twitter at SportsZSM and Instagram at ZSM_sports. Thank you to our proud sponsor, ZSM Sports. We appreciate you. And I think that covered every Backroom Collections. Custom sports memorabilia, artwork, all kinds of great stuff. Small business. Take care of them. Use hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10%. And I think that covers everybody. Everybody is covered. So, without further ado, got one more thing I got to do behind the scenes that y'all don't know about. Of course, if you don't know about it, that's because you're smart and you subscribe to YouTube Premium. Free advertisement for YouTube Premium. Remember, I did this, YouTube. Tell your algorithm I did this. YouTube Premium's awesome. You know what my favorite feature about YouTube Premium is? And this might actually sell it to y'all alone for all those of you that are willing to deal with the ads and skip the ads and whatever and just don't want to get a YouTube Premium subscription. My favorite feature about YouTube Premium. Wait, did I miss a super chat? Somebody's saying I missed a super chat. There we go. I got to do this super chat before I give a free advertisement to YouTube. So hold on. Kevin Lee, another $5 donation. Appreciate you, buddy. Culler, even though Miami picked up to his 5th-year option, could still trade to and get Lamar. Another team can have his 5th-year option, in my opinion. Well, yeah, of course. I think that the 5th-year option, as I've said before, and this is my layperson's opinion, it just seemed to me that picking up the 5th-year option just clarified its value to the whole world. Like, whatever direction you want to look at it at, whether it clarified his value to a potential trade partner or a potential team that would have to take on his value or his contract. And likewise, hey, this is what we currently see you as, Tua, or whatever. So yeah, absolutely. That to me, that's all it did. It said, this is Tua. It's no different than whatever contract that Daniel Jones or Geno Smith walked in before they redid it and gave him a new one after they performed. You know what I mean? Yeah, so great. Appreciate the super chat and a great comment. So back to favorite feature, YouTube Premium. When you're on your phone on YouTube and you're using the app and you want to black out your screen to put it in your pocket, but you're on Bluetooth, so you still want to hear the YouTube stream. You have to have YouTube Premium to do that. And that is by far my favorite YouTube Premium purchase. That's worth the price of admission alone. You know how aggravating it is to hold your phone and make sure you don't touch the screen because you can't put it in timeout because the YouTube stream will cut out? Yeah, that's literally a feature of YouTube Premium, to be able to time out your screen and still have the stream going. I would take the ads. I give me the ads if that was a free feature. If I could time out the screen. I'd probably listen to the ads if I could time out the screen. Hint, hint, YouTube. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. There you go. You want to, you really probably want to get YouTube Premium. It's good service. And that's the last I'm going to slob on YouTube now for the day. So anyway, I got to fix something here real quick. Bear with me, guys. I know I'm talking like I'm distracted, and it's because I am. But give me just a second. That. All right. Save. Hit that dial. pull that lever, go back over here and spin this wheel. And once I spin that wheel and push that button, all right, cool. All right. Oh, the games we play, ladies and gentlemen. The games we play as businesses, companies, organizations, bureaucrats, politicians, celebrities, whatever. How's it going, crypto? One of the newest guys in the building, defensive back, I believe, who really probably shouldn't be saying much of anything, having just got in the building, decided to take to Twitter today upon hearing the news that Lamar Jackson had requested a trade from the Ravens. Deshaun Elliott, one of the newest free agent signings of the Miami Dolphins, and arguably somebody that isn't necessarily, I don't want to throw shade on the guy because I don't really know how the Dolphins view him, but I just know how we as fans and whatnot view the players we already have. And then, of course, guys like Jalen Ramsey, I know how we view those guys. And I'm not so sure the Dolphin fans would give this guy the most political leverage in the world to be saying this kind of thing, which was evident by the fact that he deleted it very shortly after posting it. So Deshaun Elliott, upon hearing the news, quote tweeted, hashtag come to the Dolphins, when hearing the news about Lamar Jackson. Now, I just have to say, look, I implore you people. I mean, there are so many possibilities as to why this gentleman said this on Twitter publicly that I had to actually, it inspired me to create this show today to go through them all. I think this is absolutely hilarious in a lot of ways. Tragic, but remember, a lot of comedy is born out of tragedy. Okay, so he backpedaled and came out and said that oh, that's just Twitter. Fair enough. Fair enough. Now, I want people to be clear. The reason I'm talking about all this so much, and another reason that I advocate so hard for Lamar Jackson, is because I am of the firm belief that there are a few players on our team that are afraid to speak up what they really feel about upgrading certain positions. And so I'm here to speak for those players just as much as anybody else, probably more than anybody else, because they're the ones that have to put their bodies on the line to accept a teammate that they may believe to be inferior when it comes to their further life goals of, let's say, winning championships or whatever. But this goes back to what I said a week or so ago about a good portion of players in the league have already decided day one of their career that they're never going to win a championship. Whether they're a good player or not, some of these players that have decided this for themselves are excellent players, but just know the business of the league that they'll never be a champion. And that to me is disheartening, to say the least, for the sport. I won't be alive forever, so it's not like, whatever, but it is disheartening for the sport that it's come down to that. But this is another case of, are you going to presume to me that how many guys were on the roster? I forget what the playoff roster is. It's not all 53, but for lack of a better knowledge on how many we actually had, I'll just say 53. 53 guys got playoff experience except for one. And nobody's going to presume to tell me that all 53 of those guys are on board with what the effort they put out going to nothing last year. And to be expected to do it again. As long as there's the availability of better on the market. Malpractice. That's what I called it to start with. It's what I'm calling it now. And I don't want you to just say we pursued Lamar Jackson. I want you to come out and tell the people, two and ears included, we pursued this man. I want our existing quarterback to know. That's been the problem the whole time. Yeah, cat for life. And guess what? That's another issue that's rectified. We bring in Lamar Jackson, and just like that, all of our guys have playoff experience. What are we talking about here? So, the various possibilities of why Deshaun Elliott thought it was okay optically to say what he said. One, he's not skilled in the art of public relations and stuff like that. It's possible. In that regard, I would question his psychological capacity to be on our team. Because isn't that the kind of thing that they look at players like, do you say things to the media like that? I'm not saying he has got any psychological problems. I'm saying, like, isn't that something that would ding him in training camp? If it came down to him and another guy, equal performance, and they had to make a decision, are they going to look back to this and say, you said this when you spoke out of turn? That's a ding in these, evaluators' opinion. I know it sounds stupid. It's stupid to me too, but it is a reality. Okay, fine. You made a mistake. Twitter it up. For that to be true, then that means that the Miami Dolphins have stopped. If you thought they were, the Miami Dolphins have stopped putting out the memo for every new player they bring in as to what the score is and what time it is under center. because you would have thought that a guy like that would have been briefed, would have got the memo. We don't talk about such matters around here. Am I the only one realizing this? It's the first thing I thought when I saw all this. It's the reason I'm going live right now. So reason I am here talking to you right now is to point out on my own platform with my own way to do it that I mean, tinfoil hat or not, there is no way that that player tweeted that out without the endorsement and the sanction of the Miami Dolphins. There is absolutely no way he does that without some other criteria being true. What are those criteria? What would have to be true for the Miami Dolphins not to sanction what this man tweeted? And not to, in fact, be using it to get a message out. Given that nobody's allowed to talk to Lamar in some ways. I mean, you can talk to him directly, but and Jose, you're right. You could say that. Now, you could apply either Occam's razor or Hanlon's, but I'm not claiming maliciousness, so I don't think Hanlon's razor applies per se here. But it could just be incompetence. You're right, Jose. But the second part of your statement, wishful thinking on his part. I'm not even so sure the organization would allow somebody to express their wishful thoughts about our current situation under center. I mean, be honest with you, we've heard zero, which has given the organization and the staunch Tua supporters the ability to say that everybody in the building, everybody on the team, all the players are behind Tua. That's what they've been able to say because of it. Well, I'm here to speak for the players that truly aren't. And this man just got in the building, and his first tweet that meant anything, that mattered to anybody, was to Lamar Jackson telling him to come to Miami. And you're going to presume to tell me that the Miami Dolphins didn't sanction that. Or that the Miami Dolphins, I want to be very clear here, because I do not want to disparage Deshaun Elliott. The man's, I'm sure he's a brilliant man. You don't get to the NFL unless you're a brilliant person, okay? I get it. You're a elite in this society, in this, whatever you want to call it, grouping of human beings that have come together in modern times. You are an elite, buddy. Don't misunderstand what I'm trying to say. But if the Miami Dolphins wanted to make sure that they brought people in the building that did not say anything about this matter, which we believe some of us is the case, then they are incompetent in accomplishing that because they brought Deshaun Elliott in the building. I'm not saying it's a flaw for Deshaun Elliott to say what's on his mind. I appreciate him doing it. And he can even backpedal because I understand the business. But if the Miami Dolphins' goal was to show a unified front when it comes to even pursuing another quarterback, then they failed in that mission by bringing Deshaun Elliott on board. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that our organization is that incompetent because I don't believe they are. And I don't think Deshaun Elliott is that incompetent. I don't think Deshaun Elliott's PR people or his agent or anybody else that tells Deshaun Elliott and gives him guidance and advice on what and what not to say in the public sphere. Hey, I don't think any of them are incompetent either. It is the basis of my logic that this had to be a sanctioned message to get out from the Miami Dolphins, using somebody that some would argue could be seen as not knowing the real score in the building, being expendable, whatever you want to say. Because the easiest comeback to me is, Culler, he just got in the building. What does he know? Isn't that going to be the comeback, right? I haven't been watching chat too hard. Is that people already been saying that? Whatever, you know. What does he know? He just got here. Hey, he knows what his eyes tell him. And secondly, you're right. He just got here. So what are you saying about him if he decided it was okay to say something like that? He's either incompetent or the people that were supposed to get him the memo are incompetent. Or he was given license to say that. You understand? He was given license to say that. That's a very similar thing to permission. Some could argue a license and a permit are the same thing. Now, whether they ordered him to say it or not, I couldn't say. But he was given license to say it. And I'll stand by that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But you're not going to tell me it's not based in sound logic. '72 undefeated. That was my thought too. Elliott will be cut now. Will he make it past training camp? Well, if he does, and Tua is not our quarterback, then we know what the gambit was. We know what he was brought in to do. You could say that about being cut too. How else are you going to get a message to Lamar Jackson after you've been out there with the rest of the team saying, oh, no, nobody's interested, including us? How are you going to tuck tail between your legs and put the message out there to Lamar that, no, we're still here, buddy? Exactly, Mr. Ballgame. That's my point. If you wanted to put some feelers out there, maybe to test what the fan base is thinking, stuff like that, you know what I mean? Then you might precisely use an underling player like, and again, no shade at Deshaun Elliott. He's one of the newest guys in the building. I don't know. I don't think it's a small coincidence that he happens to be the one that mistweeted something. You know what I mean? So who stopped giving the memos to the new guys in the building? I don't think I'm being unfair in saying that. I'm not saying you're accusing me of being unfair, Mr. Ballgame. I'm just saying, I did want to catch up on super chats though. Pete, appreciate you, buddy. Glad to see you back in action today. For $10 donation. Appreciate you so much. We have no plans for Lamar Jackson, and Coach McBignuts came out today and proved Skyler is his guy. He chose Skyler and made playoffs with Skyler, proving they sat Tua down for Skyler. Skyler time soon. Oh, so Pete's off of Lamar. Oh, I didn't realize that. It's a possibility. It's like Brian Brain said earlier. Maybe these guys just don't like Lamar. That's always a possibility. What's up, Jaime? How you doing? I don't know why. Sometimes you have to re-click the bell just because YouTube screws up sometimes. Kevin Lee, another $10. Man, Kevin Lee's holding it down today. Appreciate you, buddy. Seems like there's always a player, tweet, or rumor that always is leading back to Lamar. Something tells me something is coming, Color, because why would this be happening or allowed? Agreed. I mean, and again, it's just further evidence that they're talking out of both sides of their mouth constantly about pursuit of another quarterback. You know, this is why I started the show saying this ain't about Tua, because, you know, this is about a fan, myself being in this case, saying, hey, there's this guy available. We've made some moves to make it possible to get him. We could make further moves to make it possible. Man, moment, machine. I mean, I don't care what the circumstances are right now with who we got and whatever else. This is the time. Ain't gonna be no other time until for a while. Till the next guy breaks out, and then we're all like, oh, hope they trade him. And then when they do, we're sitting on our hands again. Every time, man. And now you got new players coming in the building saying stuff like that. Well, of course, I understand why he said it. And it probably is wishful thinking because, you know, there is a certain amount of truth to Pete's pessimism about not getting him. I mean, if I were to go on recency bias and evidence and stuff like that, which is what I claim to be about, then no, we ain't going to do nothing but sit on our hands and actually pretend like we believe in Tua beyond him being the only one in the building. Now you had, and I don't want to like, you know, throw any shade at Lamar at Javon Holland, but you got Javon Holland when the last somebody tweeted something about Lamar coming to Miami or whatever that Javon Holland caught wind of, and he tweeted, "Not in that number." In other words, not in the number 8. Like if that boy coming here, it's not going to be in the number 8. He didn't get told to squash it. A team that supports 100% on board with their quarterback would have said, the hell we need him to come here for? We got our guy. And now you got this, a new guy. Hashtag come to the Dolphins. Is that to poison the well? Because, you know, usually the team or the players or the people that come out and say stuff like that are the last team that end up trading for the guy. So is that to poison the well? Is that to get me talking about it so it all looks like crap, like a pipe dream, and then they could just not do anything and boom, now he's a patriot? The question you got to ask yourself is, are there players on your team that you're okay losing? Okay, so let's say there's high quality players on our team out of your personal list in your head of the high caliber players on our team. If we lost one or maybe two of those, are you running around like Chicken Little claiming the sky is falling if we don't do anything at quarterback? Let's say Chris Greer just saw fit to purchase a bunch of draft picks for the next couple years by getting rid of Waddle and Wilkins. Do you less believe in our team's chances to win going forward? I mean, maybe it might set back a year, but do you think we can't heal that wound? Well, a quarterback is like getting your head chopped off. Losing a wide receiver and a defensive lineman is a wound. Not having a quarterback is like running around without a head. But see, that's the thing, Q. That's what I'm saying. That was if we didn't upgrade at quarterback. But what if those two pieces I said just now, Q, upgraded your quarterback 5 times? So now you're taking 2 steps back to go 4 steps forward. If you're keen enough like McDaniel to adjust to that, whatever it means to have Lamar in the building instead of Waddle and Wilkins. What do we got to lose? We throw the bag at Lamar and it don't work out. Where are we at? Serious question. We throw the bag at Lamar and it don't work out. Where are we at? He comes here for a year or 2 or 3, injured all the time, doesn't ever put it together. Where are we at if that happens? We're in the same boat. But where are we at if he does put it together? Which is more likely the case. We could be greatest of all time as a team. Bam Depoy says, what if you never able to replace Waddle and Wilkins? I just don't see how that's possible. Who did they replace? Waddle and Wilkins haven't been playing football for 3 centuries. There were players before them, and there were wide receivers and D linemen after them that'll be just as good, if not better. Quarterbacks aren't like that. You have to wait till they break out somewhere, or you got the right guy or whatever. But nobody knows till it happens. Then everybody's wondering when that team's going to trade him. Well, they don't always. And thus far in the last 30 years, it hasn't been us that's been right. We have a chance to say, here's a guy that is right, was the right choice. Maybe albeit for the wrong team, but was the right choice. That's a known commodity. If that known commodity means burning the next two drafts, first round, two of them, first this year, first next year, first next year, first the year after that, whatever it is, who we got to trade to get it, whatever. That's a known quantity. Let me ask you this. The year that the Baltimore Ravens drafted Lamar, if you knew what you knew now about Lamar, would you be willing, let's say if you were a team that had 2 picks in the first round, that draft, would you be willing to tell Goodell that you'll give up 2 picks for that to take Lamar in that draft? Because you know, basically under the guise that, you know, of knowing what you know about Lamar now? If you would go back in time with 2 picks in your pocket for that draft and tell everybody, I've been to the future, I know what's going to happen, so I'm willing to give 2 picks for this guy. You do it. There's no doubt in my mind you do it. There's no doubt in my mind if we were working with facts from the future that the Ravens would have never even drafted Lamar Jackson because he would have went before Baker Mayfield. If that was the same draft, I think I'm correct. Doesn't matter. He would have been top 5 draft pick if people trusted what they knew they were going to see out of Lamar, what Baltimore obviously thought they were going to see out of Lamar. And now, to their discredit, thinks they can take advantage of for the rest of his career. He ain't going to do it. His business decision ain't no different than Cam Newton not reaching in for that fumble. Yet we want to hang a bunch of petty fluke injuries over his head like they're real. Or even close to the injuries that our current quarterback has suffered or has the potential to suffer. Because I'm going to tell you this. That play Tua got injured on against Cincinnati would have been a touchdown if Lamar Jackson was our quarterback. You go from injury to score on that play. It's ridiculous that we even have to have this debate. Now, if they don't want to go for it, and that's just their choice, what can I do about it? I mean, I'm not going to debate people about Tua because this, again, has nothing to do with Tua. This has to do with everybody in this freaking world, in this league. Everybody that watches football knows that this football team is Lamar Jackson's football team. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows in this whole entire world, in this whole entire universe, that Lamar Jackson should be wearing these colors right here. Everybody knows it. Shouldn't even have a chance for for other teams to outbid us, outsnap, whatever. We do have the capital. Every single year we have to face quarterbacks twice a year delusional. We're already used to that. The league just don't want to give up guaranteed contracts. For some reason, it's different for Lamar. It's ridiculous. Because even that guarantee ain't even a guarantee. You know why teams ain't lining up to get Lamar? Because they got a guy that can win. That they're confident can win. And if you're telling me the Miami Dolphins are confident that we can win with Tua, then I would say you have bought in to an outright lie. And if that's not true, then the level of incompetence is so out the window that it's unbelievable. Oh, Tampa. Was it Tampa locked up Baker Mayfield? Who are we talking about here? The teams that are lining up. Indianapolis, Carolina, Atlanta, New England. All teams with nobody at quarterback who understand that they have a chance to solidify that position with one foul swoop and be done with it. Oh, Carolina said they're out. Cool. How many teams were lining up for Mike McDaniel? I'll wait. Oh, nobody? I'm sorry. I thought there was a line down the road to interview McDaniel. Hey, you might be onto something there. There was no line down the road for McDaniel, and it's probably why we're not pursuing Lamar. Only the same reason. Nah. Deshaun Elliott told us exactly what the organization wanted us to know. That's probably not going to happen. We're not going to do what it takes. We're going to put out our piddly little proposal to Lamar and be like, this is all we can do when we know we can do more. So we can go back to our fan base and say, look, Culler, we tried. We sure did try. And we'll slowly get the details of what the Dolphins offered him. And everybody will be like, oh, that's cute. And we'll continue to play in our walled garden. rack up 1 billion yards. And we'll have the same conversation next offseason. And y'all know it. But that's okay. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to stop calling for Lamar. Lamar, come to Miami. Hashtag come to Miami. I'm gonna keep it going with the hashtag because Deshaun Elliott said it best when he said, hashtag come to Miami. Come to the Dolphins. Keep Tua. I don't care. Whatever we do with Tua, it doesn't matter to me. Get Lamar Jackson here. I need to get the link over to my boys and see who wants to come up before I drop it to y'all, because I really don't want to have a panel today. I'm not interested in arguing with people all day about whether Lamar Jackson can throw the football or not. It doesn't interest me anymore. I'm not convinced. So the latest is that Meek Mill texted Robert Kraft saying that Lamar Jackson wanted to go to New England. And that Kraft said that would be Belichick's decision. And I think that's hilarious. And no, David, the narrative didn't change from he can't play in this league to he can't stay healthy. No, both are true. You all changed the narrative that it's only about his health. I don't give two shits if he plays 25 games. He ain't winning when it matters. And there ain't no evidence whatsoever showing me that he will. Ain't got nothing to do with his health. You all changed that narrative. Thought we were gonna forget. I don't forget nothing. Got nothing to do with his health. It has to do with winning when something matters. And he hasn't proven thus far he can. So if you want to point out the game or the scenario where we gained anything of value out of winning from him, then go ahead. I'm waiting. Tell me which game it was. I'll go back and watch it and rerun over and over again. Every single game we've had that mattered last year, Tua either lost or was injured. It's the NFL, bud. Every game counts. Do you even hear yourself, David? We know every game counts. That's why it sucks when he loses the important ones. And say nothing about a game not counting. You know what game counted? Minnesota. Where he was already cleared concussion protocol. But because Teron Armstead wasn't playing, or whatever the reason, sit one more. We don't want to, he needs one more day of rest. He didn't play that game. You know what game counted? The playoff game against Buffalo. That game counted too. San Francisco, Los Angeles. Should I continue? Green Bay? Any other games count? Well, we just selectively say every game counts. Yeah, you're telling me that you're pointing out a bunch of games that have nothing on the line saying those count too. Yeah, no kidding. Thank God he can do that job. Where would we be if he couldn't even beat the teams that he should beat? Imagine that. All you're telling me is it could be worse. And if I was Lamar Jackson and wanted to pressure another team into getting something done, I might actually think about telling everybody that I want to go to the Patriots, their rival. It just so happens to be the Patriots that comes out that he says he wanted to go to. Lamar wasn't throwing to Parker. That was Teddy Bridgewater, Aqua. I mean, it's just so ridiculous, man. And let him have him. You know what? If that's really the truth, then it's even more malpractice on our organization. And good luck. Sit there with your hands folded this year and watch the show. Because the show is going to be on the other side of the ball, on the other team. It's ridiculous, man. Let that man go to the New England Patriots. You let that man go to the Patriots. Man, you're going to have people running from this team in droves. Droves. I can't even imagine that. I mean, that's just so ridiculous. Whole entire league slights the guy. And then we're going to sit here losing to the guy every year in New England wondering what the hell happened. Yeah, that's really smart. He let that happen. It's so ridiculous. Who we got coming in? Capitan, save me from this, Capitan. I'm about to go off the deep end if I hear him going to freaking. It's ridiculous.
It would be.
By the way, hold on. I gotta make a correction because this is so ridiculous how people just think they know what's up. Devontae Parker was in the NFL the first year that Lamar Jackson played at Louisville. It was Teddy Bridgewater throwing to Devontae Parker, not Lamar Jackson.
Truth.
I've got it right here if you want me to pull it up. Devontae Parker was already drafted and playing in the league by 2015.
Lamar Jackson's only 26 years old. It feels like he's been around forever, but that's just the impact in the short while that man has made on the NFL. That's all that is.
Devontae Parker's last season at Louisville was 2014. Lamar Jackson's first year at Louisville was 2015. Ain't no reuniting going on with Devontae Parker in New England. Get a grip.
Well, I will say this, Culler. It would be a poetic style of justice if he did end up with the Patriots. It would infuriate me to no end because it would literally take a franchise that is spiraling out of control and uplift them in the division. Overnight, it would uplift them to literally competing for Super Bowls once again. It would really infuriate me if I seen that happen. I know, again, though, I think about Lamar and his circumstances with the Ravens and what's going on behind the scenes, things I've only alluded to in private conversations that I've been privy to. But I've told everybody that if this Lamar trade doesn't happen soon, it's going to start getting ugly. And here it is starting to get ugly. Lamar had confirmed that 25 days ago, he had put in a request, and that was the day in which I said that Lamar was talking to other teams and that the Ravens were opening discussions and that the Dolphins were actually speaking to the Ravens, along with a bevy of other teams inquiring about the circumstances as well. But it was exactly 25 days to the T that Lamar said. So for all those people out there telling me I don't have sources, you can stick it up your ass, because my source was literally on the money.
Delusional, I respect you, bro. You're saying the Patriots are not spiraling. That's just wishful thinking. Well, guess what? That's Vegas's wishful thinking, because they have the Patriots at 70-1 odds to win the Super Bowl, which is the worst it's been in the Bill Belichick era. Talk to Vegas.
Yeah,
they're kind of down on y'all too.
Listen, I wouldn't call them a flat out, hitting a roadblock, because they're still, got a decent coaching staff and they are always going to be well coached and well prepared.
Well, that's the thing. You get Lamar Jackson there, and with Belichick, that 70-1 turns right around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And again, I just wonder about, now, could Kraft, who had an amazing relationship with Brady, could he, make some kind of connection with Lamar? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I do know that the reasons for Lamar not wanting to be with the Ravens and wanting to be with the Dolphins are not too dissimilar to the reasons that Deshaun Watson was saying about the Texans and wanting to be with the Dolphins. I'll let you guys figure out exactly what I'm talking about, but that's the truth. Mm-hmm. As far as anything I've been made aware of, Miami has been his only place he wanted to go to. Now, whether he'll go somewhere else, I'm sure he will. I know at this point he really doesn't want to be with the Ravens, but I wonder who's going to play petty, who's going to be the petty one. Is Lamar going to sit out and just accept his 32+ million or whatever it is and just?
No, I think that's the point of making it clear to the public that he asked for a trade, because I think he wants to play this year. I think that's taking that off the table.
But listen, man, and I don't want to pull back the layers of politics with all this, but some other stuff's going on with this whole entire thing. And, it doesn't necessarily have to only be about race. It is some of that in part, but there's also a bit that they don't want quarterbacks, big name quarterbacks, representing themselves, getting $150+ million in guarantees with none of the middlemen that they have in all the systems that are that they can use. And I'm sorry if you think that these agents aren't tampering by speaking with owners all the time. You guys are fools. That's how it works. Why do you think Drew Rosenhaus has so many Dolphins players that come here and representatives that end up getting paid with the Dolphins, and he's a local guy? It's just it's the way it works. And Lamar, for whatever reason, I won't go into his reasons because I can't be certain on them, but I can take a couple of educated guesses. And bro, I've been saying this for months. I've been saying it since last year. If Lamar doesn't get traded in a timely manner at the end of this season, meaning last season, it's going to be a slow drip of what's really been going on, and it's going to get ugly. It's going to get uglier. And I wonder what the Ravens and the NFL end up deciding to do about this situation.
Well, the thing about the Patriots, though, is, if let's say he's using it at like Mark Popelka says, because he gets me, if he's using it to light a fire under teams, to say that, oh, I want to play for the Patriots because he thinks that's going to get teams to take action. Why would he choose one from the AFC East, our bitter rival, if that message wasn't meant for us?
It is kind of, I see what you're saying. Not too dissimilar.
It's not like, I mean, it's not like so-and-so
Color.
over there cares if he goes to play for an AFC East team.
Not too dissimilar than the Aaron Rodgers thing. You can make the same exact correlation to that. It has been well documented by people close to Aaron Rodgers that they have been quoted saying Aaron Rodgers wants to be in Miami. So, and this was something I've foreseen. We talked about it offseason that if Tua doesn't cement himself as the guaranteed future of this franchise, there's going to be veteran quarterbacks lining up around the friggin' stadium wanting to get into the situation he has laid out in front of him. And, I mean, it should make Dolphin fans feel good in some aspects that we have, veteran MVP quarterbacks pining to be our quarterback. Something we've never had before since the post-Dan Marino era. I really don't know how this shakes out, honestly. I do know that, we'll see what happens with the Deshaun Watson thing. We'll see what happens with the Aaron Rodgers thing. We'll see what happens with the Lamar Jackson thing. And if all three of those quarterbacks don't end up on the Dolphins, which it certainly looks like so, and it doesn't work out with Tua, and any one of those three or all of those three go on to have postseason success and or Super Bowls, we will only look back at all of this time as opportunities missed, which is something we've looked at a lot lately in our recent history. And that's the shame of it all. And it's, I see people in chat and I see people all over, you can't afford it. But in the same breath, they're like, sign Derrick Henry and trade for Dalvin Cook. It's like y'all play favoritism with the way you want to spend the team money. It's just bullshit. I feel like the young fans, especially the less educated fans, and even the older fans, and quite a bit of creators out there I see on all platforms, not just YouTube, are super ignorant to the way things should work in today's NFL. They're thinking that they're gonna get a guy, build it up through the ranks, and have some fucking dynasty by retooling pieces. That's been the fucking plan and the way this team has been doing it for the better part of the past 20 years, and it ain't worked. Okay? You strike while the iron's hot, take a upgrade in any and every position that is affordable, and if it means breaking the bank for 2 years down the road to sell out to go in now, do it. And for anyone who's like, oh, well, blah, 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 beware, Dolphins fans. Everyone who doesn't know, Chris Greer's been sandbagging a good $25 million right now. He's got it hidden in a freaking safety deposit box that he can restructure 2 contracts and have 25 mil put back right on the books for this year. That's number one. Number two, goddamn, I'm stuck in this traffic spot. Number two, I I don't understand how you guys don't get how the contracts can work. The only thing that is cause for concern or something to that effect is how does this trade part like work out? What do they do with Tua? How does that work? You know, the whole thing like that. Do they end up keeping Tua and a Lamar if they were to sign that guy? The whole thing is just, it's a messy situation. And I think a lot of Dolphin fans aren't a lot of owners around have looked at the Lamar situation, okay? And wisely they go, well, Lamar kind of has the Ravens over a barrel right now. He's getting ready to start making it a stink because the people that are in the know about how displeased Lamar is with the Ravens and what he's willing to do in a personal level as far as being a little bit more candid about the way he believes he's been treated with that organization and making it public. And why would I give you 2 first-round draft picks when there's a circumstance in which you'll be begging me to take him off your hands if he's just rolling around shit talking your
Right.
team all year? You know
He
what I'm
just
saying?
told us he has no desire to play for you. Why should I give you what you want?
Exactly, Culler. Exactly. There's a lot of moving parts and a lot of moving pieces to this entire situation, man. It's a weird thing. And I think there's a couple of teams that could end up with them. You know, the Jets and the Patriots being some of the teams because they're both in need of quarterback. Again, and I'll stick to my guns of what I said. If the first round of the draft, we're going to hear 2 names all draft day and leading up to draft day. Lamar Jackson, Aaron Rodgers. What happens? What happens with these guys? Does one go on the move? Does another? Is there blockbuster trades and movements happening with teams that want to acquire their services and taking young quarterbacks on their teams and moving them? Whether it's the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, I don't know, insert the Lions in on this whole thing. All these teams.
See, Cap ain't gonna get a ticket because he'll just he's up closer to Alabama, so he'll just tell the cop
I
that
ain't
he's a
that close
2
to
and ear.
Alabama.
No, you're closer than I
No
am.
way. Dude, there ain't one Alabama. Yeah, I'm closer to you are. I'm in Central Florida. Yeah, you're in South Florida. I ain't getting no ticket, bro. They can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man out in this bitch. Anyhow,
It is more likely that there's 2 and ears up there than there is down here.
Yeah, well. Anyhow, they.
You just tell them, don't. You can't talk to me that way. You can't write a ticket to me that way and just rip it up.
No way. You know? I'm pretty good. Police love me, buddy. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'm getting ready to come up to a rough area, so I might lose you, Culler. But to me,
well, as long as we don't lose you.
Of this year's draft, if the first round of this year's draft comes and goes, Lamar is not traded, the Dolphins become the number 1 likely spot he'll end up. And I said that on that, whether that's during the season, after, wherever. I think that's where first round backs that are young quarterbacks that they'll have for year build on all those things.
I think we got about 3/4 of that.
As and I'm losing you, Peller. I'll try to get back in when I get home. My phone's dying.
Right on. There you have it, people. The great El Capitan. Going through a tunnel or something. Bad area, he said. So I don't know, you know. That could mean anything. No, I am just chilling on these Linzer charts from Publix, which are fantastic. Get over to Publix Bakery and get you some Linzer tarts. Complete with blackberry jam. Black raspberry jam. Yeah, they're really good. Anyway, so like and share, everybody. We're at the 2-hour, 20-minute mark. I would absolutely love to be able to drop the link and let y'all come up and talk, but I don't have the energy to hang. So I'm going to need some team members to help me out if that's what they want to do. Otherwise, we're going to hang a minute, make sure El Capitan doesn't have anything left to say, and probably go ahead and shut her down here pretty soon. I had so much more to say, but dang, I think I got enough of it out, and the world ain't ending tomorrow. So I'll have time. Tua man dropped 6 tutties on Lamar's defense while he watched from the sideline. That's got to hurt. Yeah, Lamar's defense, huh? No, not hash brownies. There are Linzer tarts from Publix. Pete knows what I'm talking about. Pete's had the black raspberry Linzer tarts at Publix. They are absolutely to die for. I buy like 2 or 3 packs of them a day. Dead serious. They go good with coffee. How y'all think the Browns are doing this year? Anybody worried about the Browns? They already took their plunge. Also, this notion, I don't know if do we have the second hardest schedule or just a second place schedule? I think people are confused about that. I don't know how we could have the second hardest schedule while there are 8 teams that won their division and are playing first place teams next year. I don't understand how ours is the hardest schedule. It doesn't make sense. Unless our bad teams are better than their bad teams that they got to play. But again, that doesn't make sense. Oh, well, I don't need to pray for the hundo. You owe it to me already, Finn's CB83, but that would take any argument you have right off the table. So, yeah, I guess it would help. But I don't honestly believe the trade's going to happen with Miami. I mean, the Patriot talk might not be smoke. Maybe he really does want to play for them. In which case, where are they getting the money from? Let's talk about that. Y'all seem to know our books so well. Tell me where the Patriots are getting the money from to pay Lamar. Go ahead. Who do they give up? Do they have 2 first-round draft picks? Do they have $230 million? Fully guaranteed? Would Belichick do a fully guaranteed contract? I mean, I don't know. It never heard of New England Patriots giving a quarterback a fully guaranteed contract like that, but I guess there's always, everybody can change, I guess. I don't know. Just can't picture that being their MO. They're also not the type of team that, all of a sudden, these people that like to throw out the trope about not a passer and whatever else, like Belichick, obviously, would take him. So I don't think Belichick is known for taking people that aren't intellectually sound. Just saying. So if Belichick takes Lamar Jackson, does that make Lamar Jackson intellectually sound all of a sudden? Do all the people that have been insulting him, do they all change their mind and say now all of a sudden, I mean, y'all are just, you're ridiculous. Y'all are so afraid that the Dolphins might trade for him and replace Tua with him that you can't even stand it. You just can't even stand it. You got to disparage the guy. Oh, I've heard it all. Injury, can't throw, can't this, can't that, can't the other. Can't what? You know what? Let's talk about what he can do. Because both are more. Like, Tua can't do more than Lamar. Like, what Tua can't do is more than Lamar, and what Lamar can do is more than Tua. The choice is clear. So stop making it about the two quarterbacks. It's about whether this organization has the will to go all in and throw their nuts out there and try with a superstar quarterback. Well, that's all fine and dandy, Mr. Ballgame, but guess what? Deshaun Watson's not available anymore. Everybody crapped on him enough to get to take that off the table. So, so if what you're saying is, hey, we couldn't even unite under Deshaun Watson, why would we under Lamar Jackson? Well, you're making a fair point there. I know Deshaun Watson is a tad better than Lamar. I said it. He beat him in college, head to head. Took him to school that night. I remember. But Lamar Jackson was also unanimous Heisman Trophy winner over Deshaun Watson. Lamar Jackson has tied Ben Roethlisberger for the most number of perfect passer rating games in one season. Do we know how many times Deshaun Watson has thrown a perfect game? I know it wasn't twice in one season because there's only two quarterbacks that have done that. Ben Roethlisberger and Lamar Jackson. Tom Brady hasn't even done that. I mean, we can throw around passer stats and be like, oh, well, this guy's a passing quarterback because of this stat, and this guy's not because of this stat. But I mean, a record's a record. There was another one too that had to do with that. Something like that. Let me pull it back up. I saw it the other day when I was trying to back up my words. There was another little tidbit that goes right along with that. Where is it here? Okay, right here. Give me a moment. Right around here. Here we go. That's exactly what I thought it was. Not only the 2 perfect passer ratings in one season. In the season opener against the Miami Dolphins, Jackson went 17 of 20 for career highs of 324 yards, 5 touchdowns, making him the youngest quarterback to achieve a perfect passer rating. That's 2 passing records. How many does it take to be considered a good passer? What do y'all think? Again, I don't know how anybody doesn't take a look at the way we're running our scheme and the way we're designing our offense and doesn't think that Lamar Jackson would just absolutely be a star. I don't know how you don't see that. And you know what? Y'all can talk into the ether all you want about Lamar got out-dueled by Tua. Bullshit. That's just a new way to say he beat Lamar even though they play each other's defense. That's just a new way to say that. It ain't gonna fly. I don't buy it. He didn't out-duel anybody. And even if he did, look what he's working with. What are you telling me? Because I can just as easily say for every touchdown Tua threw with our team and a whole training camp to work with them and this head coach, that for every touchdown Tua threw in that Baltimore game, Lamar would have thrown 2. Let me correct myself. Lamar would have thrown 1.5 for each touchdown that Tua threw, and he'd have ran for another one. Precisely what he did against us. All you're telling me is that their defense was even worse than ours. It's ridiculous. Out-dueled. You have got to be kidding me. They started at Q, would have. I didn't say he would have. No. What do you mean would have? You're equating us to the Baltimore Ravens then. If you want to eliminate the would've, then you're equating us to the Baltimore Ravens, not me. I'm not the one doing that. I believe our team is 10 times better than the Ravens. So I would expect Lamar Jackson to do better with our team than he would have with the Ravens. Yes, that's right. That's what I expect. I'm not a Ravens fan. I don't equate the two. You want to shift back over to objectivity. Okay, fine. We don't know what Lamar Jackson would do in Miami. But you know what we do know? We do know what Tua has done and not done in Miami. That we do know. And you all still want to make believe that it's different, that it's going to be different. Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. They don't care, CCRR. Hadn't seen 8-3 since Coach Shula. Yeah, guess what else you hadn't seen? And yes, you have. Just because you want to pick and choose whether that matters at the beginning of the season, at the end of the season, that's your own prerogative. That's your own prerogative. Because we were 8-1, were we not? 8-1 to finish out Flores's last season. But that's okay. You can reverse it and say it matters that we started that way. Just because the trash opponents we had that are easy to beat, save for the first 3 games. Oh, yeah, where anybody actually cared. And we had the advantage of our heat to help us beat Buffalo. Oh, no, Lamar Jackson wouldn't have made that a lot easier. Whatever, man. I ain't even going to argue. Again, I'm done making the comparison between Lamar and Tua. Y'all trapped me right into it again. It's ridiculous. Because it's the same roster, Mr. Ballgame, and you know it. And why is it fair for you to call that roster straight ass and not fair for me to call the quarterback straight ass? Why? Why is it fair? Because you said it's the quarterback's the one that's not the problem? And, ooh, everybody respects Mr. Ballgame. Well, I'm tired of that narrative. I don't need Mr. Ballgame to tell me what a good goddamn cheeseburger tastes like. I don't need Gordon Ramsay or anybody else to tell me what a good cheeseburger tastes like. I'm sick of that. All you do is go around crapping on everybody. While it's okay for you to sit there and call our team straight ass. Well, guess what? I respect your opinion, and I think you have a right to call our team straight ass. But when you do it, it's okay. You don't have a mob of fucking idiots around chowing you down and calling you names and freaking personally attacking your life. No. Everybody likes you because you chose that it's to say the team is ass and not the quarterback. Well, I choose to say the quarterback is ass. Sue me. Call me a name, pick on me, tell me I don't know football, whatever the fuck you feel right doing. Just do it on your own fucking time because I'm sick of it. And none of you gave those excuses to Josh Rosen on a tanked football team. So stop it. Ain't nobody trying to compare nobody to Josh Rosen. Oh, you ain't got nothing to say now. Did I offend you? Is everybody going to stop watching Culler now because he offended a magnate of the community? How about you give somebody respect in the time of day other than coming around shitting on them all the time? How about that? Maybe I'd have respect to return. Yeah, I'm done with the Tua talk. I'm done with the comparison. It is malpractice if this organization doesn't get Lamar Jackson in here. It is malpractice. Yeah, he is, Jermaine. I'll say it again. We lose because Tua has been asked. That's right. I said it. And because he's been hurt. And yeah, we haven't done no better with our backups. Okay. We ain't done no better with our backups. What's that telling me? You're really going to come back at me with we ain't done no better with our backups? Is that really what you're going to come back at me with? Well, it's okay that Tua is ass because his backups are ass. Okay, whatever floats your boat. I'm calling for a winner. 45-16. That's what I'm calling for. I'm calling for giving this man another real chance with a real team, which you all claim is needed, and we have. I'm calling for giving this man another chance to see if he can rectify his last couple appearances in the fucking playoffs, going toe-to-toe with the greats. How many people on our squad have done that? It's a very easy answer. You don't have to think very hard. I'm not in the business of sitting up here and doing the job for the coaches and the strategists of the Miami Dolphins, Mr. Ballgame. I'm sorry to come at you the way I did. Okay? But I'm not in that business. That's not my prerogative. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick whether somebody could eventually be good with all the right pieces and all the right hunky-dories around him. Okay? That's not my business here. I told you when the show started that my business was to advocate getting Lamar Jackson as the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. That is my business right now. And that's what I'm doing. Call it bias, call it whatever y'all want to call it. My job right now is to advocate for Lamar Jackson to become the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I have no other job until it's not possible. And as long as I do that, my fins will be up. Yeah, it's a possibility. It's a hope. It's a pipe dream. How's that any different than any other day? How's that any different than any other day? Y'all selling me a bunch of hopes and pipe dreams that one day, all of the evidence will reverse itself. Exactly, Scar. Exactly. That's exactly. Sometimes I think I really am off on a limb. But then guys like Scar bring me back. It is the same with Tua. We've spent the better part of the last 2 years sitting here round and round saying the same thing. And that's what comes at me is the team was ass. Go up and down the list from last year, and you tell me just how many moves we actually made in the offseason. Devontae Parker, Tyreek Hill, Teron Armstead, Sherfield, Craycraft, the running backs. And we produced the same 9-8 record. Sounds like we ass. Sounds like you think we ass. Matter of fact, we're worse. Because 9-9 is a 500 winning percentage. 9-8 is above 500. We had a worse record. We had a lower winning percentage. Yes, I want to be clear. Y'all want to nitpick when you go to objectivity. You all want to nitpick? Let's do it. Fact. Our winning percentage at the end of the final game of our entire season this year, including the postseason or lack thereof, our winning percentage is 500. Last season under Brian Flores, our winning percentage was higher. Fact. Prove me wrong. You can't. You would have to say that 2 + 2 don't equal 4 to prove me wrong. So you think that extra game actually matters. But it actually served to drop our winning percentage. I could argue we had a worse season than last year. Objectively. But I don't do that because I'm not like y'all. I don't sit here and go, oh, right now I'm going to go, yeah, technically it was this and that. And no, it's always this and that, or it's not this and that. Should I bring up the color calculator? Crypto says that's a fact. Should I bring up the color calculator, Crypto? Should I really go through that exercise? Well, 9-9 means you won half the games you played in. That means your winning percentage is 50%. Add a 0 to it, divide by whatever, and it's 0.500. That is known as a 500 winning percentage. Now do the math with 9 and 8. It's not my math. I'm not the one that made it up. But y'all want to argue objectivity and facts when it suits you. Well, it suits me right now. So I just don't buy this narrative that our team was ass and that this and that and the other. No, our quarterback has been ass. Our quarterback has been ass. I'm not afraid to say it anymore. I don't care how many people think that's hate. I don't care how many people hate me for it. We need Lamar Jackson in this building. He private messages me tonight and says, Culler, I don't even want to play for you. I'll stop it. I'll stop. We wake up tomorrow morning. Lamar Jackson has agreed to terms with blah, 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 besides the Dolphins. I'll stop. But until that man ain't available anymore, my job is to advocate for Lamar Jackson to be a Miami Dolphin. And I don't care what it takes. I don't have any obligation to tell you all how Tua can improve. I don't care what his excuses were. I don't care what his qualities are, what we could drag out of him if the sunshine blew up his ass the right way. I have no desire to talk about any of that stuff. I did all that last offseason. It's not my fault that you all want to dog me and not want to actually, you want to act like the things I say so you can go around and, insult me and create platitudes about me instead of actually going and watching what I said. But the reason I'm taking the position I am now is because I've said all that last year. It ain't happening, people. It is not happening. It'll look like it's happening. We'll have we might even beat a great team. That's a better question, Jose. Glad you asked that. We're getting close to 3 hours. And I'm starting to lose some energy. But Jose, thank you for the $2 donation, super chat. Appreciate that, Jose M. Why is Lamar a better fit over Aaron Rodgers? See, I didn't realize we were arguing that. That's a different argument, and I'd love to have the conversation. I don't necessarily think he is, other than I would prefer him over Aaron for the long term. And the extra little special skill set he brings to the table. But, I mean, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, puts a ball on a dime, so I can't fault, yeah. I kind of got Aaron Rodgers out of my mind because I think that the Jets and him are just playing games with each other, and I think that's where he'll ultimately end up. But if Aaron Rodgers is still on the table and we're arguing about whether we should, if you're talking about, hey, don't pull the trigger on Lamar because we got to save our bullets in case Aaron actually is available, then that's a different argument, and I might go with you. I might actually agree with you on that. But either one, I mean, we got to do something. I just don't believe in our current situation. I really don't. We haven't done all that much to improve what we had last year. the hashtag and what everybody's been saying has literally been run it back. So I don't understand why we have some kind of built-in faith that, number one, that Tua could even play enough games to succeed, but number two, that would even matter. No, it doesn't. CB83. Lamar's health does not concern me. Maybe it should. You could be right, but as of right now, I'm not convinced it's a problem. I'm just not. I mean, why is it that a sprained ankle can't heal in an entire offseason, but a cracked head can? I'm taking my bets with the ankle, seeing it was sprained. And yeah, somebody's little kid probably just sprained their ankle last week. Are they never going to play football again? Give me a break with this injury comparison. I don't get it. You're acting as if he tore an ACL. See this right here. Why does it not concern you? To his health concerns you. Really? A sprained ankle to a concussion. How has Tua played more games than Lamar since being in the league? Do you understand basic math? Lamar's record is 45-16. That's 61 games. What was Tua's record? Somebody put it out earlier, 21-13 or some stupid shit. Last time I checked, that's less than 61 games. See, you're so stuck in your own feelings, bro, that you didn't even realize what you wrote. Now you got me explaining simple math. Oh, from the time Tua's been in the league. Oh my God. Oh my God. Really? Oh my God. That's amazing. That really is amazing. That's you had to reach for that one, dude. I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed. Yeah, it does make sense. I'm impressed that you took the time to find a way to construe a stat like that. That's impressive. I mean, hey, Lewis, though, give him credit. It slipped by me, bro. Exactly. Who just said it? Where was it? It's MJW 125. It's becoming laughable. Exactly, which is exactly why it is malpractice if we neglect to get this man in the room. I'm not even going to buy that I'm saying it's malpractice if we don't get him. I'm not saying just to be talking to him or pursuing him, because I have no reason to believe that they would pursue him anyway. So telling me you pursued him is not enough for me to not say it's malpractice. He's the best fit for your team now and going forward. Get him in the building. In the last 4 years, Fred, not sure we want to look at that. We've played him 3 times in the last 4 years. He put 59 on us. And then what we hold him to last year? 10, I want to say. And then he just put 38 on us. So, yeah. Quite a few. He's put quite a few points on us. Oh, and that, right. I get it now. That defense that we had in 2019, that was ass. Oh. That's why Lamar put 59 points on us and had a perfect passer rating. Let me ask you all something. Do you all believe in that there's in the reality of a tougher schedule than another one? Like, do you believe it's possible that one schedule could be considered tougher or easier than another schedule? Do you all believe that as a fundamental principle? Put it in the chat, yes or no. I don't know how everybody feels about that. I think sometimes it can indicate some things, but I don't think it's a end all be all, because you have Super Bowl hangovers and stuff like that. But y'all believe that in the whole tougher schedule thing, or just in general, that it's even possible? I'm getting a few yeses, so I'll go with yes as the consensus so far. Oh, Billy's got me a big old fat nope in here, and that's why this won't apply to Billy, because Billy gets it. He knows where I'm going with this probably too. Well, right. Every season's different, Billy. But do you generally believe in the idea that one team's schedule could be harder than another's? I guess is a better question. Like, if that's even possible. Because if you do believe that's possible, then you would have to give credit to the notion that there are easier teams to beat and harder teams to beat in the NFL. And I'm telling you that Tua can only beat the easy ones. And if you're going to throw back at me, every team is an NFL team, then you're now admitting that you don't believe in the phenomena that one schedule could be stronger than another. So, like I said, if you believe that one schedule can be tougher than another, then you would inherently believe that the Detroit Lions is nothing to sneeze at as compared to the San Francisco 49ers. So stop with the whole 8-3. He looked great last year. And no, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Because even if you look at those easy teams, we struggled with them too. So I don't know what everybody's talking about in that regard. I don't know if everybody wants to talk. I'm ready to shut it down. I'm going to have to get another host to go or start another show for a panel because I just don't have the energy for it. But I really appreciate everybody being here. Make sure you're liking and sharing. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification bell. Tell everybody how much you hate color. Let them all see this. Tell them all. Make fun of it. Share it. Put it on Twitter. Say, look at this jackass and his take about Lamar Jackson into I don't care. I would love it if you would. And I appreciate all 94 of you that are here. We had over 100 at one time. Appreciate every one of you that are coming to join me in the afternoon. I'll have to get one of the guys to go for y'all and continue this tailgate. It has been afternoon color commentary. I forgot to switch back to my brand. Boom, all orange. Signifying I'm on fire all the time. I'm hot. Make sure you're hitting the links in the description below for Fanatics, Doobie, energy products, drinks, stuff like that. Backroom collections. Hit our gear, Finn's tailgate gear, flags, all this stuff, everything. All links in the description below. Make sure you're catching us. At some point, I can't imagine a day without some kind of content, be it El Capitan with the tailgate, Rabid Dolphin with some takes from Lewis, myself, the War Room with Dolphin, with DTA and Dolphins Debrief. We'll be getting back Late Night XL as the preseason starts. We're starting up Ollie in color in the morning at 6. Plus broken takes from Ollie. We got it all coming at you. $ the Fins Tailgate to keep supporting the channel on Cash App. Venmo the Fins Tailgate. Super chats like everybody has done. I hope I didn't miss any. If I have, I got to look real quick because I'm compulsive when it comes to that. But I think I covered everybody. If I didn't, let me know and I'll make a show out of it. I will like literally spend an hour talking about how cool you are for sending me a super chat. Just kidding. And we also got memberships available. Make sure also, that's why I was over at the Fins Tailgate side. That's right. I remember now because shout out to our guys over at ZSM Sports, proud sponsor of the TFTG network, South Florida's #1 sports memorabilia and private signing agency. They have a few athletes they got deals with right at the moment. Hit them up, 954-980-5801 in the South Florida area, Broward County in particular. Email them at ZSMSports25. That's ZSMSports25, all together, continuous, no spaces, at gmail.com. And, of course, Twitter and Instagram. ZSM Sports. Appreciate all the homies over there sponsoring the Fins Tailgate and everything you do. And, of course, all of you. It really is, we appreciate all the goodies. We appreciate the help all the time. But ultimately, the easiest way to help, the freest way to help is just to give us a like. Tell everybody about us. And keep coming back to watch. It'll get better. We'll get Lamar Jackson. And color will be a happy color. And y'all know what it's like to have a happy color. I mean, it's Lamar Jackson, people. It's Lamar Jackson. Oh, you guys are crazy. I don't even think. Oh, I do still have an outro. Y'all, Fins up. Thank you very much. Peace out. Fins Tailgate, baby.